Did you get in today or yesterday?
Yesterday.
Oh, that's right. So you had some sleep. What time is it for you right now?
I don't even know. It's an 8-hour difference, I guess, for me, because I'm Tampa. So what time is it right now?
It's about 1:30 in the afternoon.
So it would be about 10 o'clock at night.
Okay. Not bad.
Something like 9 o'clock.
So how many times have you guys been to Australia?
About a half a dozen times.
Yeah, that's what I thought. And obviously it's working for you. You like coming over here.
Oh, yeah. We love it.
So I did hear that about 10 years ago, Rick got some of his guitars stolen from Fuji.
Yeah.
One of the gigs.
Yeah.
But I hear he got them back.
I think he's just saying that so that they'll put it in the press or something. So I feel sorry for him.
Get some more.
Like somebody's going to replace it and give him a guitar and say, "Here, Rick." I know he's got like 1,000 guitars. So.
I know, it's crazy. And he's still going to go and buy more. So you've been around for nearly 50 years now.
So what?
You've been around for nearly 50 years now, the band.
47 years.
Yeah.
Yes.
So, no signs of slowing down? You're still happy to keep touring?
Well, I don't see why not.
Yeah.
What else are we going to do? Retired?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah. No one
people
wants
at
to
the bank retire.
Yeah, exactly. So, were there any shows in Australia that really stand out to you?
Well, I enjoyed our tour with Billy Idol.
Right.
That was a winery tour.
Oh, of course. That would have been fun.
That was a lot of fun.
Yeah. Probably didn't rain all the time either.
You know, free wine and
yeah,
outdoors, and the weather was excellent, that sort of thing.
Yeah, they're always good.
And we know Billy real well, you know.
Yeah.
His guitar player, Steve Stevens, a good friend of mine.
Yeah. Have you done any projects with him?
With Steve Stevens?
Yeah.
Not really, but I remember back in the early days when Stevens wasn't even with Billy yet. He used to come and see us play, and we'd get him up on stage and play.
Right.
You know, as a guest.
Yeah. Oh, that would have been fun. So they mentioned the press conference that maybe people would guest with each other. Do you think that'll happen on this tour?
I have no idea.
It'll just happen spontaneously if it happens.
I don't know.
That would be really cool.
I hope it does, you know.
Yeah. So the Vegas things that you've been doing, the residencies.
Yeah.
So you did Sgt Peppers. Was that just Vegas or was that all around America?
Sgt Pepper was around America. We started in Hollywood, and then we took it around to a couple places. We went to New York and recorded it at the Waldorf.
Yep.
And then we played outdoor venues a couple times with it. And then we came back. We came to back to LA and did it again there twice. So 3 times altogether in LA. And then we went to Vegas. We did it at the Hilton.
Yep.
As a residency. And then we went around the country and did it again. And then we went back to Vegas and did it at the Paris.
Wow.
So at that time we were sick of the Beatles. and we stopped doing it. But we were asked to do it over and over again. Even this last time that we were in Vegas, we went right from Vegas to here. They wanted us to do Sgt. Pepper again, and we just said, nah, we're not going to do that. We're going to do our own music.
Yeah.
So I wanted to show you, if I can find it. Well, I'll look for it. You can go ahead and ask me some questions.
Okay. So, you worked with George Martin and Jeff Emmerich.
Yes.
And Jeff Emmerich came on the road with you. Which was
Yes,
amazing.
he did. Yes.
So
he was very expensive.
Oh, yes. And did you have a full orchestra with you?
We did. We had a full orchestra,
you.
and we had 8 singers, and a bunch of rehearsals, and you know, stuff we're not used to doing.
Yeah, I bet.
Yeah.
And so this tour you did where you had to learn 80 of your own songs.
Oh, yeah,
weeks.
Relearn, you mean,
Yeah.
which is easier than learn, you know, because it comes back to you. You know, here's all 4 shows. And if you scroll, you can see.
lot of music, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a lot of music.
Wow.
But it was a lot of fun as well, you know,
bet.
learning these old songs that we haven't
Yeah.
played. Some songs we have never played live.
Yeah.
And so it was really kind of like, oh, yeah, I kind of remember that. But, you know, our mistakes are better than most things we can think of anyway. You know, we're pretty loose.
Yeah, that's great. And how did you choose the songs? Because did you just go through and say, "I remember this one, this was fun, can we do this?" Or
Yeah, we all sit around and talk about it.
yeah,
You know, what would you like to do? I have a whole list of all the songs that we've recorded on every album, 20 albums.
right,
So it takes a while to go over it all.
yeah,
But everybody had a copy of that and just looked at it and turned in the songs that they wanted to learn and wanted to do. And when we got together in Nashville to rehearse, that's exactly what we did.
Yeah.
And it went pretty well. You know, we all pretty much agreed on, yeah, that one would be good, you know.
And were there any surprises in there?
Yeah. Yeah, there was a couple. Some of them we ended up doing and some we didn't.
Yeah.
You know, like I'd say One on One, that song off of that album was one that we tried and it sounded great. Don't Love Here Anymore off the Todd Rundgren record. We never played that live
Right.
and it sounded great. So, I mean, some of the other ones didn't sound so good, so we didn't do them, you know.
Yeah, exactly. And the audiences would have loved all of that.
Yeah,
Just
I'm sure.
going back in time and hearing all that
Yeah.
stuff. So have you noticed your audience is getting older or younger, or are you starting to get a lot more younger people along?
That's not a fair question. I don't know. I think there's like moms and dads, their kids, and their parents. So
Yeah.
3 generations of musical bliss.
That's great, isn't it?
Yeah.
Are you recording any more new material?
We are at home, each of us. You know,
Yep.
there's 4, 5. Well, there's 3 writers in the band. So we all write at home bits and pieces of things. It's once in a while a full song, but then we bring it together and we all decide, you know, what to work on. And it usually comes together pretty quick.
So once you've written some and you bring it in, do you do a co-write or do you just finish off your own songs?
No, you bring it in and everybody adds something or takes something away or
Yeah.
says that riff doesn't really work. I've got one that will.
Yeah.
And then if there's a title that's really good, you know, we'll keep the title and somebody else will write the lyric for the song. Usually ends up being me, but it's, you know, it's the hardest part.
Yeah.
But,
Of course.
you know, it's like that.
Yeah. So do you have a specific place you record or you just go wherever feels best at the time?
Well, this record we recorded in New York and in Nashville and in Los Angeles.
Right.
And it was done in spurts. So probably spent a total of 3 or 4 weeks actually recording the record.
Right.
But the writing took, you know, over time, about a year's time to write all the stuff.
Okay. And you've probably got a lot left over that you can
Oh, yeah.
go on to.
Yeah,
later.
there's probably about 30 songs.
Yeah.
And then you cut it in half. And then the company cuts that down to wherever they want it,
Yeah.
you know.
So with sort of less MTV and things like that, it must be a bit harder for you guys to actually just get stuff out there. Like, does that worry you, or do you guys just do it and leave that up to the record company?
For what? MTV?
Well, you know, sort of, it's harder to get people to actually concentrate on anything now.
I know.
People don't listen to
It's
the
a
radio.
fast food world, right?
Yeah. So does that bother you, or is that not your problem? You're just happy to keep making things.
I don't think about it so much because
Yeah.
it's too depressing.
Yeah, it is.
You know, we're a band that likes to put out albums, not singles. We've always been that way.
Yeah.
And so that's 10 to 12 songs usually. And we hope that people continue to buy albums instead of just songs.
Yeah.
You know, it's an old way to think about it, but it's more fulfilling, and I think it's more important myself.
Oh, I think so. People really remember albums. They take them to a place in time, don't
Yeah,
they?
I agree.
Yeah.
Singles are for dance clubs to me.
Yeah.
You know, let it be there. There's room for all of it. You know.
There is. Yeah. So it's going to be really fun seeing all these different bands together.
Yeah.
And to hear that you're all co-headlining, I didn't realize that. That's
Oh yeah, it's
interesting.
co-headlining,
Yeah.
and they're like our younger brothers that are, you know, going to try and wipe us off the map.
Great.
But we're not wipeable.
No. No, we know that. Okay, what's on your rider these days?
The rider?
Yeah.
Oh, nothing much really. I like to have a little whiskey.
Yeah.
And I like to have a couple beers, preferably IPAs these days. And there's this new drink called Celsius.
Okay, I haven't heard of that.
That's a health drink, sort of like, I guess, Red Bull.
Oh, okay. Yep.
Only it tastes better. And then, and I like a chocolate bar, dark chocolate. And what else is there? Kleenex.
Oh, yeah, good. Yeah, so pretty conservative, not like the old
Yeah,
days.
no, there's no different colored M&Ms that are, you know, they're taboo.
Yeah. I was out with a band recently who accidentally got their rider from the 80s.
Oh.
And when he back into the room, there's this whole table full of like, tequila and everything. And everyone just went, we can't do this.
Yeah, Pelotons, whatever. You know,
Yeah. Just,
they want exercise equipment in their dressing room.
It's crazy.
Huh?
Yeah.
It doesn't look like they exercise much to me. What?
So our magazine's called What's My Scene?
I've found that the older I get, the more critical I am of other people around me. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I understand.
It's a terrible thing, but it's true.
So we'd like to ask you, what's your scene?
What's what?
What's your scene?
My thing?
Your scene. So what do you like to do?
Well, I write a lot. I have a couple of stories that I've developed. I'm a cartoon fan,
Oh, right.
so I've written a few comic books.
Oh, fantastic.
I've got a story I'm working on right now called Sandcastles. That's it's sort of a cross between the fall of the Roman Empire and Romeo and Juliet. And it's about an Asian girl who enters competitions for sandcastles, and her mother's sick with cancer, and she wants to win the competition so that she can help her mother survive the cancer. So she goes to the competition and she comes in the semifinals, and she's part of the last final. And she's very excited. And then she goes to the final and she loses. And she walks along the beach after building her sandcastle. She walks along the beach and she builds another one bigger and better than the one she built for the competition. And all the creatures of the sand enter the sandcastle.
Oh, lovely.
Little crabs and stuff. And the story from there goes to animation, and it's all about this community in the sandcastle of all these creatures. And there becomes this hierarchy where there's a king crab, and his friend, the white crab, who becomes his nemesis, or the guy who's going to stab him in the back,
Yep.
you know. And then they both have children who fall in love.
That sounds great.
Yeah,
Where can we see this?
Oh, I don't know.
It's not been released anywhere.
But what happens in the end is, after all this takes place, this huge wave comes in and knocks down the castle.
Oh.
And so the father comes by, and he's, I get choked up. It really gets me. He comes by. It's sort of like, whatever will be, and you really have no control. This is after the mother dies and stuff. And that he takes a shell from the sandcastle and he throws it in the water, and there's a pearl that inside this oyster, and he takes that and he throws it in the water, and then suddenly this hand, this creature's hand reaches down and grabs the pearl, and that's the end of the story.
I love it. That's fantastic.
It's sort of like that.
Oh, that's awesome. Thank you so much for your time today.
Are you welcome?
I can't wait to see you. It'll be fun.
Yeah, be looking for that maybe after I die.
No,
Yeah.
we're looking at it now. It sounds